Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk Real Estate and Stuff, the podcast where my background is significantly poorer than BP's, where we dive into the world of real estate investing and the random stuff that makes life interesting. I'm John Whitfield from Carrots Serum Investor Views. This is BP from the Mobile Home Park Operator, and Carlos Zamora from Investor Views and Carrots Serum will be joining us very shortly. How's it going, sir? Was this background live last week? I can't hear you, but it could be me. Hold on.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, see, what nobody knows is John was being a major dick, and instead of doing the pre-show mic check, he went straight into this, and I'm sitting there trying to be like, can anybody hear me? And he goes in, I couldn't check my audio, I couldn't check my camera. I'm just like, well, this is gonna be a wild one, everybody. Anyway, yeah, no, my studio is just about functional. Carlos, what do you think of my lock and load?
Love it.
So I wanted to say something to everybody. Obviously, we have a lot of politics going on, and everyone knows my stance on Trump. And I want to say this: I have paid my first tariff, and it works. Trump succeeded. I don't care what anybody says. Like, I ordered this effing thing from China. This
Lock
thing.
and load.
So I got this. Sorry, I got this one from Miami. She was great, man. Like I paid a premium, and like I didn't care because the response timing, the communication. I told her I needed it by this episode I was doing. And I was like, it's like 2 weeks away. And she's like, I could do it. You just got to do this. I'm like, down. This person, China, and I didn't think anything of it. Get it? Comes around the same time as hers, right? So he rushed it for me too. Doesn't have from work. I plug it in, the thing blows. And I'm like, whatever, dude. And it wasn't badly priced. It was cheap, which is kind of why I went with him, and I paid the extra for express shipping. So he goes, hey, it happens after you use LEDs for a while. I'm like, yeah, a while is in like 10 seconds, bro. Do I get like a new one? He's like, you pay $65 for the shipping, and I'll just ship you a new one. I'm like, cool, like whatever, an extra $65. It was cheap enough to begin with. I'll do it. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. If not, I'll go back to Miami and get one. Anyway, I get this thing and I wait a couple weeks. Like he took his time to redo this second one. There was no rush on his part. He already had my money. But I get this email from UPS and they're like, hey, your delivery is scheduled. You owe like $32.30 at delivery. And I'm like, whatever, like what is
The
this
price,
supposed to be?
the from China under a certain,
Yeah.
was it
So
$9.99 or whatever?
I have no idea like how it happened. But anyway, I log in and they have all these disclaimers. This is about like the tariff policy and this is your tariff.
This is
And
not UPS.
yeah, right. Like they wanted you to know that this was like a tariff related fee for shipping from China. And all I thought was two things. One, it wasn't disclosed to me. Obviously, like I just felt like the person would be like, hey, like we're shipping this at this dollar amount, you're gonna incur a tariff. Two, cool, I'll pay this tariff, rightfully so, but guess what I'm doing the next time?
Buying
Buying from
from,
buying from
yeah.
America. Like, and it works. I was just like, why would I spend this much money and not just buy from this chick in Miami again and support her business? And like, I just was, as I'm paying it, I was like, this is
It
like
worked.
right, yeah, right, like rightfully so. And I was pissed I paid it, but like, just like, awesome. All because this guy couldn't send me the correct sign to begin with, and then blamed it on that I used it too much. I was like, and like it plugged in and it just like went out. Like, how did I use it too much? Anyway.
So is that a custom made lock and load or was it pre-made? Oh, custom made.
It's
Nice.
a custom job.
Custom job.
No,
It
looks
looks like
great,
the
BP.
old school neon lights, but it's LED.
No. Yes, it's LED neon. I don't know. It's an LED strip. It's like LEDs inside of it, but it's a neon, and the font's called Neon Glow.
Okay.
So you pick the font, you pick the size. So I had ChatGPT, per usual, help me pick the sizes and the placement of everything. There's still some tweaking I got to do in here, but it's getting better. I still can't figure out how to get my Yeti mic working. But anyway, I just figured I'd share the tariff situation with everyone. I thought people would they would like to see, what do you call it, my foot in my mouth of paying tariffs, But rightfully so. But this girl in Miami, if I had her name, I'd recommend her over and over again. I can't remember her name, but she was phenomenal, and it looks good too. It looks
super
good.
clean.
Yeah,
super clean.
Oh yeah, no complaining with that, and she was a great communicator. So yeah.
When are you gonna play the piano on the episode? You moved your arm.
Never.
So.
Never. That's just for me when I'm sitting and I'm
Little
bored.
keyboard
and I
action.
need a little peace and quiet. I'll play my music.
You actually play the piano?
Took lessons
keyboard.
for like a decade.
I can see
Ah.
BP playing a little Beethoven Moonlight Sonata there.
Yeah, that's I can do all kinds of classical. I'm not good at other music, but classical is more my vibe.
We should start a band. I'll go get a viola and we can just rock it out.
No, I'm not good like that. I have no musical skill, but like I'm great at math and like patterns. So like I can memorize like my finger memory and like so I could play music to tone all that. But like if you just ask me to sit down and like pick up a beat and play, nope, not your guy. Like I'm very rule
That's
based.
okay.
Like,
We can play
here's the sheet
Mozart and
music.
Beethoven.
Yeah, here's the sheet music. Memorize it and play it.
That's
I'm like,
what I
cool,
do
can
too.
do that. Yeah, that's all I could do. I'm
See?
not a savant. Like
Bam.
some of these guys who like literally like I watch some of those and they'll sit down and they're just like listening and they're like, okay, like I'm like, how do you do that? Like that's amazing.
Not how the people of our generation were raised on musical talent. That's how.
Yeah.
They
There's
just
there's some men like I see them on TikTok. Like some of it's just I love watching those people. I
Mhm.
love watching them where they go out in public and they start
Oh,
playing
yeah.
music and like they'll just like pick up a vibe and start playing and like yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's
So,
pretty cool.
so we're gonna talk about the elephant in the room?
Do we have to?
I feel like we do.
I don't see an elephant. Moving on.
Just because your turtle ate him.
All right, what's the elephant in the room?
What do you think, Carlos? What are you feeling about what happened this week?
It was a crazy week. The one component that adds a little bit of craziness for me is I was in Scottsdale for an event, a mastermind event at Nick Perry's house last week.
Oh yeah.
So I work from his office, and ironically, Charlie Kirk lives in a building that's right next to Nick Perry's office. So we're like hanging out. A lot of guys have had like firsthand interactions with him, say he's like the nicest guy. So it's interesting. I was just kind of like out there and talking with people firsthand about him and how nice he was and stuff like that. But it's a crazy day. I mean, I think it's not even an elephant in the room. It's like we're on the elephant. Everybody's on the elephant because the entire social media algorithm, every single person is posting about it. It's one of those. It's a rare time where the majority of people posting about it are giving like a preface of like, "Hey, I'm not even political," or "Hey, I'm usually not political, but here's my take on it." There's selfie videos of people crying, like Cody Hoffines from Utah, longtime real estate guy, crying, talking about it. So it's like definitely can't just like brush over it or ignore it. I think it's super, super sad. It's super, super sad, disappointing for infinite amount of reasons, but yeah, we got to talk about it because, you can't ignore it just because every single person is talking about it. But yeah. Super, super, super sad. Unfortunate. I was definitely a fan of his. I thought he was a great guy.
Yeah.
I know that there's sound clips and stuff of him being malicious, and that's the beautiful thing about America. Or not malicious, but saying stuff that, rile people up. But, that's the beautiful thing about being in the United States. It's like, hey, you can have those opinions and be fine too, but yeah, just sad. I've been sad this week for sure.
Yeah. What's up to our longtime listener Cecil in the chat over there saying
another good guy. Another great guy.
Yeah, dude, it's wild like how this is going to affect stuff, but it's like one, I don't think he ever said anything. The fact of the matter is, whether you like him or hate, he was a highly learned individual, highly learned, and he spoke facts. Whether you like the facts or not, he spoke them. People said he had hate speech, but it's just like speech that they hate. But he spoke facts from a certain point of view or perspective, and he like the most amazing thing is like he brought it to kids. And and if you ever watch any of his videos, it's like he didn't hate you for it. He's probably better than most, like especially me. You guys know me. It's like, could I have had those patience with some of those people? Like he would literally like just take a beating and just be like, okay, like agree to disagree. Like cool. Like I don't have time for you. Next person. Like come on. And like I would be like, like how dare and that type of patience. But it's wild because of what it was. it's like you're on campus. You don't like if Trump got shot and assassinated, he lives by the gun, he dies by the gun. You know, when you become president, you become a target. Simple as
Mhm.
that. You know, you're a senator, you're a military, you're any of these people in these types of things, you know, going in that you have a target on your back. An influencer, even if a high influencer like that, do you guys think that crosses? And I'm not saying there's a line like there's some type of it's okay, but again, you live by the gun. Words aren't guns. Like I don't care what anybody
Mhm.
says. You can't say words become guns. Okay, words are not violence. Violence is violence. But it's like, do you feel that he was in the realm of where it's like, hey, you entered this and this was you knew this was going to happen type of thing, like you played this game and you lost at the game.
I think he was in a. I think he's just in an environment like that's the like Dave Portnoy, the Barstool CEO.
Yeah,
He had talked to him before, and it's like, or people. I think multiple people had talked to him before, and it's like, dude, you're just so open there, and he had a
yeah,
big following, and it's like a lot of the
true.
people that he argues with are just not mentally stable people.
But like,
So it's
aren't
like,
you
dude,
off
you're.
limits?
So
Shouldn't
I don't think it's. I don't necessarily think so. It could be anybody. There's a
I get
dude.
that. I get craziness, right? Like I get
Mhm.
craziness, but I'm talking about like if you were to put any rules around like the game of like life and death of like, you know, like if you're an assassin, a drug dealer, a criminal, like you say, oh well, you know, they played that game. Presidents, dictators, all these people, they go. Do you feel like he was in that world of like, hey man, you should have expected this to happen? I think he's off limits. I think influencers, I think reporters, I think people who speak for a living and give opinions, I think they're off limits on these types of things. They're not conducting violence. They're not out there doing bad things. They're just spreading a message. It's like I don't see how you can warrant death to speech is what I'm trying to say, if that makes sense.
It does. I think that's a logical thought. John, go ahead.
I was gonna say that I think it applies for everything
What do
though.
you mean?
Like somebody who like any situation where you practice your ability to say what you think, you shouldn't like
100%.
have to have consequences.
100%.
So I don't think like there's any
Yeah.
category
It's well,
on the
speaking in general,
spectrum.
like the speech category, yes. If you're not doing violence, you're off limits.
Yeah.
Like it's the whole women and children thing. It's like leave my family out of this. This is between you and me. They didn't enter this game, and that's the same thing. Like these people didn't enter a realm of violence. They entered a realm of engagement and rhetoric and debate, which is what we're founded on. And so I think that's what's wild. Is like somebody hated somebody so much for what they said, not what they did. Like you may hate Trump for what he does, who he funds, who he goes and visits, who he gives weapons to, what wars he starts, or what a terrorist he assassinates, or any of those things, right? Like you can
Mhm.
hate those actions. But what actions did Charlie Kirk do that entered into the violence realm? I guess is what I'm trying to say. I think it was
Mhm.
not just unjust because he was a good person or free speech. I think it was unjust because he wasn't playing in that arena, if that makes sense.
I think that's a logical thought, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people that have gotten killed or
MLK.
assassinated.
Is this the modern MLK?
I don't know. I don't have enough context on MLK. I see people saying that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think just where he was at, how many eyeballs he had, how well known he was. It's just I don't know. Maybe a numbers thing of eventually there was going to be one person that took him out. He's talked about that. Dave Portnoy, the people were saying like, man, you need to have like security and like,
Yeah.
and even
He
there,
did, but he had personal security for close encounters, not Overwatch security.
exactly. Yeah, they need
Because
to get like
again,
drone. They need
you
to
don't
get like
expect.
drones or something.
I get it, but like, do you?
Like I
I
don't
guess
know what's the solution. And also this morning, I was waiting for BP to enlighten me. I think that they found the
yeah,
shooter.
they
They
did.
think that they found the shooter.
Well, yeah,
Oh, they
20. I'm
did.
gonna mess it up. 22, 21, 20-year-old. I've been on calls all morning, so I'm getting like tidbits from what I'm seeing. Supposedly, like his parents knew his dad turned him in. I think. And don't quote me on that, but that's the
Hmm.
rumor is the dad brought him in, figured it out, which obviously, yeah, good job, dude. Um, you know, I'm a proponent of the death penalty, but again, how do we know it's him? I don't know. I don't know the evidence. Like they said they have prints, palm prints, forearm prints, partial prints.
Your
I
forearms
don't
have
fucking know.
prints?
Imprints? I have
Didn't
no
know that.
idea. I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, I guess, right? Like when she started
Yeah,
taking,
John, it's not like tagging a turtle. You can just pick them up. Oh, yep, that's the one that we
like
got.
I'm thinking maybe this is what they mean, because then they measure the distance between here and here along with that. It's just more evidence. Maybe I have absolutely no idea. So I'm not skilled at all to say anything forensically. But it's like they got him for those things, so maybe it's him. But like, wow. I go back to like dudes just talking like somehow you hated him that much.
Mhm.
Like,
Is it a guy that's debated him before?
yeah,
Why
like,
did he hate him
so the
that much?
rumor is it's a transgender hate. So, and again, like, we don't know because they arrested him last night at 10 p.m. They released it like a couple hours ago. I saw it come live on Fox News. I was on mute, so like I wasn't getting the whole thing because I was on a call. But the casing's engraved with like just hate speech. If you're reading this, you're gay, LOL, transgender, just all these different things. So supposedly that's the angle. Don't know. I would imagine. I mean, he took a pretty strong stance. Again, he would always say you could do what you want, but like biblically, like you're wrong and you're also mentally ill. And that bothered a lot of people, which I 100% stand behind as well. Like, I think it's a mental illness, but like, you're going to kill me because I disagree. But he never said you can't be it. He's just like, you go be what you want to be. But if you're asking me, this is what I think. And so that's supposedly the reason why he did it.
You think it might not be the guy that they caught, that they have under custody?
So, I don't, dude, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I have no idea. The simplest answer, my initial thought, is exactly what it seems like. Well, it's probably some kid who hated him, goes to that university or lives there and looked at it as an opportunity to make a name for himself, to prove a point and make Carly literally eat his words of just like you said, because Charlie had many statements talking about like gun control versus gun violence and gun deaths, which again, I agree with what he said there, and about transgenders and all these things. I'm like, this is just a kid proving a point. Then the weapon, the bullet, the aiming, all those things lend to just a regular amateur person making a statement.
You think so? Do you think like the shot itself is
Oh
amateur
yeah.
level? Is that guy
Oh, yeah,
trained?
100%.
They say that guy's trained
100% amateur level.
amateur level.
Because if you were okay. So there's the shooter as being professional amateur, and then there's the reason behind it being professional or amateur, right? Those are the debates. Like the reason behind it, was it just emotion or was it like some type of political takeout paid by somebody? And then the person shooting. So one, I mean, why would you climb on the roof? I mean, I'm not a sniper, but name a sniper movie where the sniper climbs on the roof to do it without any protection, cover, sidewall, anything. You go into a window, you go into the building, you find a way in the building, you open a window, break a window, you could seal yourself. You should never be seen. I mean, if you ever watch the sniper movies, like their whole goal is to never be seen.
Yeah.
Not to walk across a building in black, lay down so everybody can see you, have no planned egress other than to hop off of a second-story building, run through the woods and through a neighborhood. So, like, again, if this was like a pro assassin, he would have been hiding. He would have been, had a planned escape route, a getaway. So you would have never seen the guy. There would be no videos of it happening. You would never have a height, a weight, a race, nothing. You would just be like, it happened. So, but does that mean that the kid couldn't have been paid, coerced, manipulated, indoctrinated? I have no idea.
The shot itself, an easy shot from 200
with a scope. I mean, it's not like he hit his target. I mean, we don't all think that he was aiming for the neck, do we? Yeah.
I thought it hit his plate and went up. They said
he had no plate.
He didn't have plates on.
So in order to have a plate, you would have to, like, if you've ever, like, because I was looking into getting plates, right? Because after some school shootings when my daughter was young, I was really like researching getting armor plates. In order to have a plate, one, you're talking steel, right? So to ricochet, it would have to be like a cheaper steel. Charlie's very wealthy. He's not just going to buy some cheap steel plate that's going to spall and like hit up into his neck, because you would have like anti-spalling compound on it. And the more expensive ones are better. But 2, that would be like 3/4 of an inch thick. Like there's no, and if you see him sitting there, he's not looking puffy. Like if you've ever seen like a real, like, I mean, he wouldn't, you could see his chest, you could see like the separation from his, his nipple, like whatever you want to call it, your pectorals to your stomach. Like it would be a metal fucking plate. Like it's 3/4 steel alloy thick. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not some thin Kevlar trying to reject like a 22 or a 38 round. You're talking like a high velocity rifle round, which would have to be heavy duty Kevlar and steel in some type of vest. And he did not look like he was wearing it. And then if you look, there's no holes in the shirt. But what happened was when it hit his neck, it's the reverberation of the body that did all that, because everyone's talking about like, oh, I see the shirt move. Everything happens after the fact with this high velocity, like supersonic round, right? So he gets hit and the shirt goes up. But if you look at the shirt, even if it ricocheted, you would see something. There would be a hole like somewhere in the shirt. And then you would obviously see him wearing some type of vest. But like you see all these videos of him, there's no vest that you could see. Maybe I'm wrong, but like that's just my analysis.
No, I could be right. I'm not super informed on it.
I am an amateur of no skill or quality.
The video is so sad and crazy.
Yeah.
It's like I'm out of a scene of like the movie The Patriot or something like that. Just a really graphic, gory death. Cecil brought up, I did see those on TikTok. The guys behind him doing like the hat signal and stuff like that. But
yeah, I get it, but that's his personal security. Right. And like, they're probably just signaling to each other of like doing stuff. I mean, I think it's more coincidence than anything else that like personal security back there doing stuff. I think it's just coincidence. Again, like if you're talking like a professional hit, we wouldn't be talking about a 22-year-old kid. You would have no idea who it is. And it wouldn't be that weapon. Like it wouldn't be that weapon, and you wouldn't miss. You wouldn't hit the neck. I mean, he got lucky. He hit his carotid and killed the guy. Like that's made him the assassin, right? He did not hit him. He did not. Either he was aiming for the chest or he was aiming for the head. Either way, he missed. A professional would not have missed. Charlie was not moving. He sits exactly the same every single thing he does, with the same hunchback. He puts his mic down. He lifts his mic up. Like I've watched all of his stuff. It's always mic down, sit back up, hunch. Listen, he's always fidgeting, and then he leans forward. He's not like Trump when he was speaking. He's moved, you know what I mean? Like he's moving, he's animated, he's doing that, and it's never the same. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think it's as like, I think a lot of people maybe are looking for like the Israel or the Democrat. Like obviously it's a leftist person, whatever, but I'm talking about like the political entity. They're looking for it to be the Democrat entity or the Israel entity. They really want like that. What is it, John? The simplest answer? Who's it? What is that? Moore's law? What's that? The simplest answer is sometimes the right answer. I forget what that law that is, but yeah, like maybe it is just the simplest answer. And and you had some psychopath with a mental illness doing whatever he did. Maybe he wanted to be famous. He will go down in the history books if it's him. He will be forever remembered. Even if it's not him.
Same as the guy that took out the United Healthcare guy.
Yeah, not really. I don't feel like that's... I don't know his name.
Why is it
I know Lee Harvey Oswald because he killed Kennedy, supposedly, if it wasn't the driver, which we're pretty sure now it is the driver. But like, you're talking... The CEO is nobody. He was nobody.
We're talking like motivation, what draws.
Yeah, but I'm talking about going down in the history books. Like that kid, whatever his name was, is not going down in the history books. No one's going to remember that CEO died.
Dude, he's popular. He's super popular.
But you're not reading about it in the history books. There's not going to be a section about the CEO death of United Healthcare 2025.
That guy isn't as popular as Charlie Kirk, but the shooter is more popular than whatever the shooter's name is here.
What will you learn about in your history books? What books will be written? Will there be a book in history books and you'll learn in 6th grade about the death of the CEO of United Healthcare, or will you learn about the exactly?
You're going to meet us. You're going to meet us halfway here because the people are going to care about Luigi Mangione. He's literally like a pop icon.
No,
he is. I'm telling you.
Time will tell. I get.
And then Charlie Kirk, without people caring about the shooters, they care about Charlie Kirk. and they care about Luigi Mangione. So
But
it's different in the situations.
But why would we learn in our history books about Luigi Mangione?
Who learns anything?
But
in history
answer the
books
question:
anymore?
what is there that a school would do?
No, you're saying they
Oh.
want to go down in history.
Well,
and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying that's not what they want to do.
Maybe, but I mean, so if you're talking
want
about
to be
popularity and going
popular
down in a
for what
list
they
of
did.
assassins, right? Like serial killers. Yes, I get what you're saying. Luigi, Charles Manson, and all these guys, they're in a list. They have their fan base. 100% understand. I apologize. Yes, in that respect, but in the respect of American history, of like we're talking MLK, like Charlie Kirk's name will now forever be etched, and so will this kid's name if he's found guilty and put to death. They'll be learning about that forever. And so when you do an assassination, like I don't think Luigi killed the United Healthcare guy going, I'm going to make a point and be in the history books. But you assassinate.
I'm gonna make a point
Kill somebody that hurt me.
Be well known for that.
Yeah,
not.
I'm with
history
John on
books.
this one.
Nah, okay. No, only time will tell. What does Luigi say about it?
I don't follow things
Yeah.
closely enough.
Yeah, crazy though. Crazy week. We'll see what happens just with society moving forward. Tensions are a little tight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's promoted for the
Too
Medal
tight.
of Freedom, which people don't like, which I think is retarded that they don't like that. He's supposed to be displayed in the rotunda. It's going to be a wild ride. We'll see what Trump does. Trump is on Fox and Friends. I love it. He's doing his rounds on Fox and Friends because he was in. I didn't even know yesterday was 9/11 until I started seeing everything on the news. Right, like you get so caught up in things, and then it's 9/11, and Trump's in New York. So then today he goes on Fox and Friends to tell about the suspect, and it's like, well,
What did he say about the suspect?
He didn't say.
What else
much.
did he say about the suspect?
Obviously at that point we still don't know much, so like he's just like, here's who we think we have and here's what we think happened, but he's like, things are subject to change, and it's like, but if it is him, he should get the death penalty. But people are pissed that he was that.
Did he say that about the guy that shot the Democratic senators?
I don't know, probably not. Who shot the Democratic senators?
The guy that went out, what was that, Wisconsin?
When?
A couple months ago.
They're dead?
Yeah, he killed husband and wife and shot two more. He had a whole list of Democratic senators. It was going down a way.
Fucking psychopath.
How do you guys not hear about this?
I didn't even know about that.
I didn't even know about it. See, isn't that amazing? Algorithms? Isn't that amazing how that works?
Not heard about this.
Echo chambers.
Because we're not Democrats, and you are, and you got the Democrat shit, and we got the Republican shit.
Yeah, see?
It's algorithms.
The guy went out. He made a list of all the Democratic senators in Wisconsin, posed as a police officer, knocked on doors at 12 a.m., shot them dead, went to another one, attempted to shoot them, and then the police caught up to him.
Damn. What happened with him?
The police killed him. No, I think he might be in custody. I can't remember if he got shot dead or captured.
And just some crazy right-wing MAGA guy?
So, can you hear me?
You're breaking up, BP. I think you're back.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's my thing is like, you can't, like, the whole gun control thing. It's like, I think I'm a huge proponent of Amendment 2. You're not going to take away. These people will find a way to do. We're not talking like an average person just like, oh, look, I got a gun, I'm going to go do something bad. These people, they will find the gun to do the crazy thing because they're effing psychopaths. Like, that was extremely premeditated. I don't even think that's as bad of a premeditation as what this guy did at the Utah, because this guy just got up on a roof. That took planning.
Oh, the amount of armaments that he had in his car was ridiculous.
Like, so there is no gun control that is going to control that, because there's still a black market for guns. You can limit honest people from getting it, but somebody that fucking psycho, he's going to get the weapon either way. That's I didn't hear about that. That's a shame that I didn't hear about it, honestly. It's like, why did my algorithms not send me that, echo chamber?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what Trump said about that, because I didn't know that happened.
And at some point, I don't know how directly related it is to Charlie Kirk, but there definitely has always seemed like there's some powerful force out there, some hidden tier that there's someone that's trying to pin people against each other,
Oh yeah.
you know?
Well, which is kind of why I liked him though, because like I think the only way to do it is to get to the next generation, and like whether you like the truth or not, like when you watch his stuff, like even the people that are wrong, like it's the people around that are watching the discourse and the debates, and they're making decisions for themselves instead of just hearing what they're being told. And like that's what I thought was really important is like that, because Gen Z is just left out, man.
Mhm.
They're in the middle of all of this, and it's like I thought he was doing God's work. He was doing a great thing, the country's work, right? Not even God, but just like politically for the country. And but then because when you don't have it, when you don't have free thought and you don't have open debate and discourse for people to gather information, because that's what debate is, right? Like me and John can debate. He's got one opinion, I got the other, and either we come to this idea that we're both right in our own ways, or somebody gets new information and say, wait, maybe I need to reevaluate my position on this because I didn't know that fact.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, so now let me go research. And you can only have that through debate. And I love debating. I love having open conversations. If I'm wrong, like give me that new information. Let me then adjust. Do I still agree with myself or not? Because when you don't have that, my opinion, it's easier to be manipulated and indoctrinated because you only have, like you keep saying the word echo chamber. You're just hearing the one thing and then that's it. And you have this person or entity trying to pull everyone apart with race and age and politics. So, no. Anyway, how do you think this is going to affect the markets? Real estate, what Trump's doing? You think there's going to be a pause on things? Why this goes on in the background?
Minnesota. I said Wisconsin. Sorry.
Minnesota is a hotbed of weirdos. Still, still though. I mean, I get it. Like this guy thought he was doing everyone a favor. Why? Then just don't elect them. Like that's how you win. Like, that's how you win. You just you do what Charlie Kirk did, or that guy, I forget his name, the guy who converted all the Amish people, right? Like you go and hit the ground. If you really want to not have these people around, you go and hit the ground and get people to vote in the favor of what you're looking. That's the whole process of what we do in this country.
Mhm.
Go get your votes. Like cheating would be pulling out the gun. That's cheating to me. That's cheating. That's taking a shortcut, and I don't like cheaters. I feel like,
Agreed.
dude, like you could have done it. You could have done it the right way, and that's what like we did during the election. The Republicans did. We went and got people to vote that never voted before. You know, and that's how we displaced a Democrat. They could have done that up there. Was he from Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah, he could have done it, bro. He just
I think like what I take away from all of this is just like, why is there so much hate?
Yeah.
Like, why is it getting to that level? Because I agree with you and what you're saying about like how people can have debates and they can have opposing views, and I think that should be happening and should be happening more. And it used to happen in the 80s and the 90s and before that, but I remember it back then. But it doesn't anymore, and it's like people don't want to like come to the middle anymore, and it's just getting more and more and more hate.
Yeah, it's I agree with what Carlos said about there's someone out there pulling the strings, but it's also it's when you allow a minority and weaker species, or not species, that's the wrong word, but weaker group to control the majority of what the entity or the country wants, and you start placating and have this unneeded empathy for things, everything starts to go awry. It's like all of a sudden you get punished if you don't like something or you don't agree, and then that spirals, right? It creates the hate because you feel things are unfair. And John's right, like this didn't happen 15 years ago. Like it wasn't like that. Like there wasn't this much violence and hate for these types of things, but because of social media, because of these things spinning everything, it's like if you don't agree with what somebody says and you post something, you're now getting fired. You're not. And who started that? We all know when it started. It started during COVID. It started during the George Floyd stuff, the BLM stuff. It started in 2020. It started for COVID, the vaccines. It started for speaking out against vaccines and the mandates. All those things started happening. And then the hate started because people felt they were being unjustly prosecuted. and ruining their lives for these things. And it's
Mhm.
like, and who starts sowing all that? Who sows that distrust there?
I think the problem too, though, is people contributed to it without even realizing they are.
What do you mean?
How many people in your sphere of the political spectrum now have an even more negative attitude towards the radical left because of what
None.
one person did?
I wouldn't say any.
Really? Because all I hear
I
is the
I think that,
radical left,
yeah.
the radical left, the
I would say
radical left.
I think you
I
were
would say it's
saying,
not
like,
from one person. BP, to cut you off here for a second. I don't think it's one person, the shooter. I think what gets most people angry, it's different tiers. So there's one, the people that are celebrating Charlie Kirk dying. Then there's the people that are like kind
Yes.
of like, yeah, there's like kind of like the passive aggressive. Like I even have a friend like that back home that I went off a little bit on, really, really good friend, but said like 90% nice stuff, but then like 10% said like passive aggressive stuff, like quoting him around like empathy and being woke and stuff like that. So that's what gets me. That's what I don't even say like radical left. It's just like the left in general. There's a big they're not seeing eye to eye on things, and that's partially because of the echo chamber, but we're just missing the mark. But I get
Yeah.
angry from the passive aggressive group, and then obviously just anybody that's celebrating someone's death
Oh,
is
yeah.
just
Well,
disgusting.
it's for me,
Not necessarily just the one person shooter, you know.
I think there's a lot of illogical things that bother me. I don't think you can have reduced gun violence by gun control. I don't think putting restrictions. I agree with the liberty thing. I think there's upsetting that people celebrate it, because if you celebrate somebody's death, but then on the other side of it, you say you want to control gun violence, you should want to control gun violence. You shouldn't be celebrating death then, because obviously you're on the other side of death. And it's like, so a lot of things are contradictory to me. And once I see contradictions, it bothers me. It's just things don't make sense. But I don't think the difference is like, if you looked at them, it's hard to say something without generalizing an entire category, John, because although we only have our sphere of what we could speak to, there's always outliers. It's like if you were to say men are better than women at sports. Yeah, generally, but there's women 10 times better than me at most sports, right? Like, but not at a sport I play, and so on and so on. And it's like, so there's always these outliers. And so when you say, yeah, like the radical left, or this is what the left wanted, obviously not everybody on the left wanted this, right? Like, not everybody is radical. Not everybody mocked the death. Not everybody hates Trump on the left. Some people, just like me, I didn't hate Biden. I just thought it was retarded. I sat there and I cracked jokes. I'm like, well, this is our president. Like, this is who we have. Like, let's just sit around and wait and see, and let me hope for the next election. I'm not sitting there saying these, the things that are said about Trump or the protests and all that. And it's like, when you look at some of the most hate and the stuff over the last 5 years of what you would get in trouble for, disowned for, it wasn't being disowned by the right. You weren't getting disowned by the Republicans. You were getting disowned by the left. And that's a fact. And on the left,
Wait, what? I don't understand what you're saying.
so you're saying, why are people like this and more radicalized? It's because for the last 5 years, if you didn't agree with the vaccine, you were ostracized. If you didn't agree with hating Trump, you were ostracized. If you didn't agree with the things that were happening, the hate on the left would come after you. And we sat around as Republicans and nothing. We did nothing. We just went for the election and we won.
But
What I'm saying is, if you go to your
who's those
family,
people doing the hate is my point.
well, I just explained that to you. It's people on the left, but not the entire group. I said,
How many?
In what you can't even begin to
No,
quantify
estimate. I want you to quantify it.
What
that. You
percentage?
can't quantify, because in my initial statement, on the foundation of what I built this entire statement on, I quantified it by saying I have my sphere that I can make a judgment on. And then I said, but it's hard, because when you speak in generalities like that, like men versus women, you can't just speak to an entire group, because there's some that don't and some that are. But to speak to that, but I'm saying, if you look at a lot of the situations, even personally in your sphere, and you were to go and say, because even you guys are afraid on air when we were doing this to say that anything you liked about Trump, and that's the truth. Nobody wanted to make a statement because you guys were afraid of what would happen to your employers or anybody else if they disagreed. And don't tell
Not
me that's
afraid.
not
It's true. It's not even
true.
afraid. It's
So
just
you
that's
can't
that's
sit
just
here.
what
You
the
can't
reality
sit
is.
here and tell me that what I'm saying is false. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying that there's not stuff on the other side, but I'm saying on the majority, if you said you like Trump, I know family that doesn't like me because I like Trump. I know I'm not invited to things. I know I've been disowned by people. I know friends that don't agree with me or talk to me. And I know many other people in those same situations. And people, business owners who are afraid to post about it. And there's a lot of ones that we know that just don't give a shit because they got so much money, it's irrelevant. But for people that are employed, even if you don't agree, if you say something positive, you don't want to say it because you're afraid of what will happen. So where does that hate come from? That's where I'm going from. And so you're saying, so why is it now? It's after 5 years and this has happened. People are saying, wow, finally we could see what it is. Because it's not just somebody getting killed in a riot, or somebody getting killed for drugs, or somebody on the street, or some white versus black thing that's being twisted. This was a dude who wasn't even in that spectrum or arena, got killed for saying something that somebody didn't like. And he was our person, trying to convert your people to our side. It's like killing the flag bearer in the middle of a war. It's like the dude doesn't even have a weapon. He's literally just carrying a flag across the fucking field and you shot him, dude. Like, what good does that do? That's all I'm saying.
I feel like I could make the same argument about the people in Minnesota, though.
What do you mean?
Same kind of thing happened, but they're not even flag bearers.
Oh, yes and no. So I agree with you. I mean, obviously, I think that guy, again,
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It's like it's on both sides.
It is, and it isn't. So no, it's on both sides, 100%. But what I meant is, you have one that is a politician. Doesn't mean it's open season on senators, dude. Like, that's just wrong. But at least if you're
all wrong, we're all in.
It's all wrong. But I'm saying, like, and it's so hard for me to quantify. All I'm saying is, like,
and you're frozen again. He's got something important to say.
That was good timing to get cut out. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's why you got to be understanding. Like,
yeah, and I don't think enough
you die by the gun.
I don't think people enough understand. Not to cut you off, but that's the point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
More people should talk like
go
we
into
do.
Conversations. Yeah, you to go into conversations wanting to understand, not necessarily just beat your thing. It's easy with someone like John, because I know John 10 years and one of the best people I've ever met in my life. So it's like I want to hear any perspective to get some blind spots that I have, because you have your own algorithm, echo chamber, how you grew up. I grew up, on that, with parents in that camp. So it's like I want to poke holes and get blind spots. BP, you cut off. Yeah, you cut off right before you were about to say something.
Yeah, I forget. It's irrelevant at this point. But yeah, I mean, like, I agree. We should all talk. I mean, obviously, John loves white dudes for Harris, and I'm a MAGA.
I do not. Isn't that a part of the problem here, Brandon?
Like, I can make fun of him for it, and I'm not getting shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a healthy debate and discourse. But I can tell you, I knew people who, when I was interviewing people during the Trump stuff, like, it doesn't matter. They don't want to work for a MAGA person. But like, I did not hire somebody because they were Democrat. Like, I didn't really care. I have a partner who votes the other side to me. Like, what does it matter? So that's all I'm saying is, like,
that's the viewpoint I have too. And I'm terribly concerned.
Yes.
That we are moving down a path where that is only going to get harder.
Okay. So if I were to try to put words around it, I would say that the Democratic Party, for history, has been very good at manipulating the weaker minority of people. And it's the blacks. The black community is one of them. I mean, the Democratic Party was they were for slavery. I mean, Republicans started to fight slavery. And you think about that and all the stuff they've done, right? Trying to make promises for that community. It's always the promises that they do, and they prey on the minority group. And sometimes the minority doesn't mean race. Minority can mean mentally ill, poor and disenfranchised, confused and lost, right? And I personally think it's easier to manipulate or indoctrinate people who are searching than it is for people who feel confident in who.
We gotta get BP hardwired in.
That fiber is not working well for you over there, BP.
But yeah, I want to read
They
more.
which is
I
why
want to
you
dig more
see a lot
into the Ray Dalio changing order, because he talks a lot about this and has like predicted a lot about this. Essentially, like, I don't know if I'd say necessarily civil war, but how the great leading countries of the world end up going down is internal conflict, things like that. So I
Well,
want to
that's the thing is how do you take down a country? And the first way you do it is family. You take it down through family, parent and child. And how do you do that? You do it through exactly what has happened. You do it through political differences, right? Your
So
kid's a
your
Democrat.
hypothesis here is the Democratic Party is trying to take down America?
No, when can I finish? So you think it's funny, John, but unless you're going to do the research and actually go back through history, it goes all the way back to communism, where it was literally threatened at the time that, yes, they're going to come at us from the inside. And it's working. And it takes 3 generations to breed something out of a nation, right? And whether that's our freedom, that's our patriotism, whatever it is, and how do you do it? It's always the empathy. It's always through empathy for the weaker, the minority, whatever that minority is. And that's all I'm saying, is I'm saying, how do you go after it? Take away religion, take away the families, take away the bond between parent and child. So you take away husband and wife, you take away mom and dad from the kids, you take away everything. You go back to the workplace. All those things take away the bond that was America.
I know a lot of Democrats, and that doesn't speak to the experience that I have with the Democrat
mean?
people that I know. Taking away the family.
No, and I never, you're the one who said the Democrats were taking away the family. I said,
Who is? I want to know who you think is. That's my point.
okay, so just because you're a Democrat doesn't mean you have any control over the Democratic Party. Just like I'm a Republican, it doesn't mean I have any control over the Republican Party. Do you believe that everything you hear from the Democratic Party is true?
No,
Do I believe everything I hear from the Republican Party is true?
I hope not.
No, definitely not. Right? Like, I mean, like the easiest way I can always tell people why I don't believe half of the stuff is like, I'm in charge of like 4 people, and I lie to these motherfucking kids 24/7. I'm always manipulating them, always trying to trigger them, get them to do chores, whatever it is, to get them to do what I want. So if I'm in charge of like 300 million people, like, do you think like I'm not going to be lying? Anyway, what I'm getting at, John, is I'm not saying the everyday Democrat is doing those things. I'm saying the higher ups, the people that are targeting them. Yes, there's more Democrats on your side of the line, on your side of the party line, that do not believe in family, traditional family. And that's all I'm saying. So yeah, I'm saying there's a lot of, like, you're a family dude. You got kids, you love your wife, you love your kids, you go on vacations, you volunteer. Yeah, that's not you. You don't represent your party in that aspect. But if we looked at both parties and said which one has more of, I would argue that the Democratic Party has more of that, or the belief that it's not as important. Whereas I believe on the conservative side, we believe it is the most important. So when you're trying to separate, like, what's that divisiveness? You're trying to come in, and that's where you stick your sticking ground: race, religion, family. And those are the 3 biggest hotbeds that we've had over the past 5 years: race, religion, and family. Family was never a target. Now it is.
And it's being targeted how?
Again, political views, gender roles, gender views, government. So how many times have you seen or heard a friend saying they don't talk to certain relatives because they voted for Biden, or they voted for Trump, or they're Trumpsters? Hey, those people. I've heard it quite a bit. So now you're separating family. We could go all the way back to college universities, taking kids out of homes. We can go back to the feminist movement, removing moms out of homes and putting them back to work to get taxed, to answer to somebody else instead of having traditional family values. We could talk about, I know you're with me on the fucking school system, right? I mean, if you look at it, and I'm not saying it's all Democrats, because I believe people switch in between. Like, if you look at the Republican Party in the 90s,
Oh yeah.
right? So like, we're sitting here blaming Republican, Democrat, but at the same time, like, a lot of what Trump is doing now, Clinton was getting praised for doing. Gore was getting praised for doing back then, right? Like, now because that was huge. If you could see sound clips of a lot of Democrats and Hillary Clinton talking about illegal immigration deportations and they had no right. And now Trump. So again, like a lot of things. And then the war rhinos, right? Like Dick Cheney and his daughter. Where are they now? Where are they now? They're on the Democratic side.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it's hard to like, this stuff is changing, I guess, John. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to just
We
say,
should just all be libertarians. Government doesn't
No.
get to tell you to do
That'd
anything.
be cool. That's what I get behind.
and libertarians, the libertarian you speak of is more closely related to conservative Republicans than it is to Democrats now. The true libertarians from back then is a closer relation to what the modern day Republican is than the modern day Democrat. And so you get this mix between libertarian and liberal all the time, which a lot of unlearned people get
Yeah.
mixed. Yeah. And so I call you a libtard or a liberal, and people are like, oh my God. And you say I'm a libertarian. Immediately, I'm not educated. I go, knew you were a liberal. That's not what John means by liberal, but you could get categorized by that because liberal, when you speak of the bad liberal or the society's bad liberal, is more about, that freewheeling, they're more gearing it towards abortion, sex, LGBTQA, protesting, trees, all these things, like almost like a hippie
Did you
movement
say
type thing.
trees?
Oh yeah, dude, like protesting the environment. I'm sorry, like the environment. Trees was the first thing I thought of in my brain, but environment, I guess modern day stuff would be oil, but even trees, right?
Yeah,
Because
sure.
Trump's trying to take down some of the forest, and so is DeSantis trying to, convert some of our shit down here. Because like
Hey, lumber prices are falling. There's some.
we need more houses, dude. Like we need more houses in Florida. Come on, DeSantis. Like, take away property taxes and then allow us to like develop some of our state parks and see how well that's gonna effing go. We'll literally just be cookie cutter houses. So even me, right? Like I'm a real estate and I love development, but I feel like it's gone too far.
Mhm.
It's just like, come on, dude. Like really? We need more of these over here. And then you read about these build for rent stuff. And I was reading this article about how entire neighborhoods, and we've all talked about it, build for rent neighborhoods from these hedge funds. And here's I almost think it's great and laughable because let them do it. Because once you start doing that, there's going to be no market for them. Houses, so like when you have to market the value of your house, like it's only as much as what the market's going to do. And it's like the more of these homes they control, they're trying to set prices. So they'll sell some of them to set the pricing in the market so they can set what their book value is. But we're going to get into some shit because it's the same thing a lot of these big companies did when you fake mark to market your stuff and you boost it up. And when you actually need to sell it, what it's really worth. Because if you're building entire build for rent neighborhoods and renting them out and you're turning us into a renter nation, tell me where the value of your home is then if no one's buying homes.
Doesn't exist.
It's a facade. It's built on nothing. And like we really need those. Why? Because you can't afford homes anymore? Because of income? And it's like, and so, but why is that too?
You could keep going forever.
Couldn't we? It's never ending, dude. And that's why that's why it's important to have a discourse about it. And I think that's all Charlie did. He had these conversations. And a lot of these kids are freaking wild, dude. My daughter included. My daughter's out of her effing mind. Some of this shit. I wish I would have never sent her.
She doesn't like Charlie Kirk?
I haven't talked to her about Charlie Kirk. And I'm afraid to have a conversation with her. It's the college, and that's what Charlie was doing. He's going after college campuses because college campuses, they are generally liberal because it's easy. Personally, like the raw, unlearned statement is it's easy to have opinions when you're not actually doing anything. It's easy to be a professor and to preach what real world is like when you don't live in the effing real world. It's easy to be a professor and talk about economics when you've never had a real job, built a business, been a politician, or did anything. And so they're then passing on their learned, high educated opinions without any real world examples, which is where I think our politics went wrong. Like the original founding fathers built our system on you participate in the economy, you come and serve in the, whatever you want to call it, political world, in Congress, in the Senate, you come and serve, and then you go back to your fucking job because you have this this vested interest in the performance of our economy because you have family, you have business, you have a job, you have things, right? It's like going into the military. You leave for 4 years, serve your time, come back to real life. But what did we get instead, John? And I know you don't agree with it. What did we get? Lifelong politicians?
I hate lifelong politicians.
Yeah. In
All of them.
politicians,
All parties.
all of them. I'm with you. All parties too. Like even my party. How the F are they worth that much money?
Right.
Come on. And no one's looking into it because everybody is into it.
Should be
It's
term
wild.
limits.
Should be term limits. You should. I don't think there should be such a thing. I think you need to have some type of. That's kind of why I like Vance. You know, is like, and why I like Trump too. Is he was in the real world, whether he was rich or not, irrelevant. Like, just, and that's why I hated Biden too. The dude's been like a politician for like 50 fucking years.
Ever.
Like literally ever, bro. Like that dude was
Came out
so
of the womb
old.
in a suit,
Like-
riding the train.
I couldn't even. They showed a clip from him from like 1980 or something, or the 70s. I was like, how? Before I knew, I was like, how old is this motherfucker? Like he was a fool. He looked 40 back then. Like he looked like he was like. I was like, how old is
He
this
really
dude?
did.
And he was still a politician back then. So it's like, yeah, and that you go all the way back to that, and it's like, so that's a lot of the flaws, and I think a lot of conservatives are trying to change that, and I think that a majority of the Democrats, they don't want that because, you know, it would ruin what they got going on.
I'd be curious to see, because I don't know, but like if we were to look at age on the Senate or the House,
Old, right?
um,
Gotta be old.
across the party lines, though, who's bringing more new people to the game?
I don't know the answer to that. Probably 50-50. I don't know.
I have no idea.
But like, I feel like it would be Republicans bringing more new people to the game because some of these Democrats are so angry and old. Like they're not leaving. Like Nancy
The young ones
Pelosi.
are angry too.
I know they're so angry, dude, and it's because of like, and you know the other thing that I think is I also don't think like some of these people should be allowed to serve if you're not a born U.S. citizen. I don't agree. Like this guy in New York, this Muslim, I don't agree with Muslims. I don't know why he's allowed to run for any type of office.
Because he wasn't born here?
I think you need to be a Christian, and I think you need to be born here.
Founding
that's-
fathers weren't born here.
No, some, not all of them, but some. I don't actually know the stats, but I would argue with that.
That'd be
I
sad.
can't-
I wouldn't be able to serve in office.
Yeah, and I don't. Think
I
you
would
should.
vote John for president.
I don't think you should though. It's like although you have a vested interest and you have a business, I also think that you come from another country, and so your opinions are based on that country. Like, because then you get in this slippery. It's like Elon Musk. I don't think he should be allowed to serve either. Again, is he doing great things for us? Awesome. Is he a trillionaire business owner in the country? Great. But like, you should be born here, and you should be a Christian.
We'll have to ask David Old's opinion on next week's episode as well.
We'll probably stay out of the politics. It's
Yeah.
a one episode thing. John's being graceful. He's gonna go home to his White Dudes for Harris meeting and tell everybody about
I have
it. They
never
bake cookies.
been to a single meeting of any regard to anything close to that.
I know, bro. I know, it's okay. We won't tell anybody.
Oh, it is 50-50.
Is it really? Yeah, I mean, you figure.
Well,
right?
this is just a quick report. 140 new Democratic, 137 new Republican. It does not give me ages.
I don't know. I don't know the
It
answer.
could be like all of them are just ancient as well.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, with age comes wisdom. So I'm with you. Like, I also not with you. I'm sorry, but I also kind of could. Man, it's tough because like with age comes wisdom, and you really want that wisdom. But then with age comes stubbornness and jadedness, and so like I just feel like if I'm retiring if retirement and Social Security kicks in at 69 and a half, right, for the average person, I'm pretty sure that should work. Like we should at least, like, if we're not going to do anything else, let's make that like the age
You
limit.
can't serve. What is
Yeah,
the
like there's
Yeah.
no reason behind that. Like if we have to
What
pick
is-
something, let's pick that at least.
what is the average age of Congress?
I old as shit, dude.
House of Representatives 58, the Senate 63.9.
Is that hold? 68? Yeah, but so it's just really, and what it comes down to is it's just really like a lot of the main people, right? It's the ones that you see on TV all the time. that are like always old Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and like they're not looking good,
Ugh.
dude. Like
Oh, please stop.
they're like creepy looking. Anyway, I digress. I want to see how this did. I tried sharing this live to TikTok. I was trying to get like,
I saw that it must be a new option inside of Restream.
yeah, and I
That's
was
pretty
like,
cool.
let me see what I could do here, but I don't even know if it's. I was trying to see if I could see what's going on. So if you're on TikTok, like, follow, subscribe. I'm gonna try to do this every week. We usually talk politics, or I'm sorry, we
I was
usually
about to
don't
say
talk
we don't
politics.
usually talk politics.
If you want to talk politics with me, hit me up on the side, and you can. If you're on the left, you can yell at me all you want with your angry purple hair. But otherwise, if you
This
want to
hair's
go to a
great.
local, if you want to go to a local White Dudes for
God, not
Harris
this
meeting,
again. Not this again. If you want to go to a local Trump
but if you're
group,
if you're trying to figure out why the Ravens suck so bad, you can message Carlos at carlosilovetheravens.com.
I saw that
Or-
like a clip of them versus the Bills, and I
I'll tell you what, though, King Henry single-handedly won me last week. That dude is.
Do I tell you? Do I give you the truth or do I give you
He
the
is
truth?
a beast, bro. He is a like for being 30-some years old. Like, I just was watching him. Like, this dude's a stallion. He's a stallion. This dude just runs. He's like just running. Yeah.
All right, what are we doing next week?
We got
David Olds from Easy REI
that.
Closings. Learn
Super
how
excited to talk to him.
learn how to automate your whole TC process. They got a great shop over there. A lot of the top folks use them, so he'll be jamming on that next week. Maybe some politics. We'll see.
We'll see if he's down for it or not. But love it. We'll see what happens between. It's gonna be a wild week, guys.
It is wild weekend.
Yeah.
Worried
Oh
about
yeah.
it.
Oh shit. It's Friday. Ah fuck. I gotta go volunteer at my son's football game tomorrow.
Oh yeah, have fun.
If
on
you guys-
that heat with the chain.
If you don't see me next week, it's because I was mummified with all the electrolytes and water has been just secreted out of me as I stand in 90-degree heat this weekend. Holding
One of BP's favorite guys is a football coach as well, Tim Waltz.
Is he?
I don't know. I just
Feel
want to throw
bad
that
for
in there.
those kids.
I just wanna throw
It's
that in there.
okay, guys. Don't hit too hard. Let me hug you. I'll give you hugs. Ah, that's fucked up, dude. Anyway, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.
Lock
See
and
you on
load.
the next one.
Lock and load.